Hey guys, welcome to my brother's ballot. I'm your boy Poe Theory. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. So, of course, with everything that is Epstein and Trump trying to avoid it, you already know what the administration is going to pull out, and that is a hoax for Obama. So let's get into this clip from Newsnight with Abby Phillips.
When all else fails, it seems like what everything comes back to in Trump world is Obama. Tulsi Gabbard released these files claiming that there was a conspiracy led by Obama to pursue, as Scott said, the Russian hoax, even though even Senate Republicans have said that Russia did interfere in the election. Let me just play what she had to say at the White House today at the podium.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment.
It's so hard not to see her dressed like that with that white streak and not think of like a Marvel villain.
Creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment.
I think a lot of people see Tulsi Gabbard up there saying these things and, and could reach the conclusion that she's in a pretty intensive.
And what I will say is this is not The View. Please let Abby run her panel.
CYA operation, because it was a few weeks ago when Donald Trump was saying she was flat out wrong with her Iran assessments and the things that she had testified to in front of Congress.
And Ambassador Phillips, you were in Congress when all this was happening and defended the need for an actual investigation into Russian interference. Is she telling the truth that Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election?
Of course they interfered. They didn't turn any votes. It's just as so many of the intelligence agencies and the Senate committee and everybody found.
Exactly. Last time I checked, the Senate committee said that Russia interfered in our elections, but they did not change any votes. Again, a conspiracy that isn't a conspiracy because he won. Donald Trump won the 2016 election.
Agencies and the Senate committee and everybody found. Of course they wanted to. Russians are always meddling in elections. Were they successful? Not really, but they meddled.
Were you serving with Marco Rubio at the time? Were you in the Senate or in the House?
I was in the Senate.
Because it's significant that Marco Rubio co-signed the conclusions of this investigation.
Here's the scandal.
Oh, do tell.
No votes, you just said, and I think you're right. Maybe they tried. It had no impact on the election.
There is no maybe they tried. They did try. They did. And Marco Rubio, who is in the cabinet, is the one that signed off on the reporting and the conclusions that the committee found.
No impact on the election. The scandal is this, that high-ranking Democrats abuse their intelligence positions to try to convince half the American people and one entire political party that Russia stole the 2016 election. And they succeeded. Today, it is an article of faith among Democrats.
How did they? I think, Scott, you have to actually back that up. How did they do that, in your opinion? I mean, you're alleging that there was a conspiracy led by Obama to say that Russia changed the votes, which they did not say. So what are you talking about exactly?
I'm telling you that the program was this. They were shocked that Donald Trump won the election. They couldn't.
Now, all of us were extremely shocked that he won the election, so I'm with him on that.
They couldn't believe it. No. And so these people, I don't know who is responsible for it ultimately, but it deserves investigation.
Oh, wait a minute, just a minute ago, you were saying the Wall Street Journal.
Why don't you let me finish? These people wanted the American people to believe that it was an illegitimate president.
Okay, so it is okay for them to push a conspiracy with Barack Obama and everything be hearsay, but when it comes to Donald Trump, we can't, like, that's a bridge too far. Okay.
legitimate
Can-
president.
Obama
That
deep
was the
state.
point.
The Obama deep state. Multiple
the
officials.
Obama
No,
deep
no,
state.
no.
Yes.
So what about
They fed
no.
So
I sat here night after night on panel after panel.
let's all calm down. Let's simmer down now. Okay, listen.
Can I
Is
just say
Marco
something?
Rubio in the Obama deep state?
No, but this is
Is Marco
Rubio
Rubio in the
signed up?
Obama
You're
deep state?
conflating
No, but
issues.
you are.
How is that?
conflating issues.
Okay.
How is that not a conflation of issues? If the committee that is currently led by Marco Rubio, who is the Secretary of State in the Trump administration, who led the committee that investigated, a bipartisan committee that investigated Russia's goal in interfering in our election, found that they did interfere in our election, but didn't change any votes. So Marco Rubio was a part of the Barack Obama deep state? Like, what's happening here?
The Obama
You're
deep state.
conflating
No, but
issues.
you are.
How
You're
is that?
conflating issues.
Okay, let's just bring it back to the facts here. Is Marco Rubio in the Obama deep state?
Did he author the Steele dossier?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
Senator,
Not the Steele dossier again. That was paid for by Republicans initially.
No.
Did he
Senator,
tell the American
Ambassador,
people that
let
Russia
me go
stole
to
the
you on this
election?
because
No.
there was a there was a bipartisan committee that looked into this. That bipartisan committee was led in part by Marco Rubio, and they concluded what? What did they conclude? Was it that Russia interfered in the election or that Russia did not?
Oh, that Russia interfered. They
Okay.
always do.
Okay.
So-
what was the reason?
So there is no conspiracy if a bipartisan committee led by Marco Rubio concluded that Russia did interfere in our elections. There is no conspiracy. The left didn't make this up.
Interfered. They
Okay.
always do.
Okay.
So-
what was the reason?
so is Marco
What was the
Rubio-
result?
It didn't change a vote.
It
I mean,
didn't,
that's
but
a-
what do
It's
people
about
believe?
the
What do people believe?
collusion.
So-
The facts were the facts. It does not matter what people take from the facts. Only what the facts are.
So hold on a
Democrats
second.
believe
So
Russia stole the election. That's a scandal.
is this about what the intelligence community concluded, or is it about what you think the public believes? Are those two things
Why
the
would
same
they
or are
believe
they
it?
different?
Abby, why would they believe
Because
it if
I
they
do
weren't
think
told
that
that
if
by
you
their
are
government?
accusing
They were
people,
told that by the White
if you are
House.
accusing people of crimes, okay,
I don't know if it's criminal, but it deserves
you might
investigation.
want to have your facts in order because
The
you
fact-
Wait. Did he just say it deserves an investigation? This deserves an investigation, but not the Epstein files to see who's in them. That is so crazy.
because
The
you
facts
can't.
are this.
but
They
you-
told people
hold on a
Russia stole
second.
the election.
Scott,
That's what they told
you
you.
cannot-
all night.
You cannot
Jeez.
criminalize. You cannot target people
I didn't
with the
criminalize
law
anything. I think
Oh
it
my
deserves
God.
investigation.
by saying that they authored an
I have no
assessment that
authority
says
to target
in
anybody.
plain
Andrew,
text
can I say
what
something?
Russia. Hold on a
Yeah.
second. It says in plain text what Russia did in the election, and then you want to punish them for what people believe.
Yes, I want to punish them and investigate them.
that is
Wait,
absolutely
wait,
wrong.
wait,
For
wait,
leading the
wait,
United
wait,
States
wait,
down
wait,
this
go ahead.
ridiculous black hole.
Two points.
Go
One,
ahead.
And I think something that they don't understand is that, well, I know that Scott Jennings knows exactly what he's saying. But the part that kind of grinds my gears is that when they say, "Oh, we want them to be investigated," do you understand what happens when someone is investigated? First of all, they have to obtain a lawyer. And yes, I'm sure Barack Obama has more than enough of money to obtain a lawyer and defend himself. But what about his staffers that worked for him while he was in office? Those are regular, everyday people that don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to secure an attorney to defend themselves against the weight of Donald Trump's government.
United States
all right,
down this
go ahead.
ridiculous black hole.
Two points.
Keith, go
One
ahead,
in
Keith.
response to Scott, and one about the whole conversation. First of all, in the last segment, Scott was complaining because the Wall Street Journal was reporting factually based sourced argument, sourced
No,
information.
unverified hearsay was the term.
Factually
Go
based
ahead.
sourced information.
Unverified
And,
hearsay.
and now he comes on making wild accusations
They're not wild.
with no factual basis. So there's a hypocrisy.
Exactly. No factual basis. Let's say everything Scott is saying is correct, that Obama manufactured this, the Democrats manufactured it. But once it got investigated and we find out that it's true, what does it matter?
no factual basis. So there's a hypocrisy there. But wait. Let me
say something here?
You just spent the last half hour, Scott. You spent the last half hour monopolizing.
Anna, just give me 1 second. Let me let Keith finish his point, and then
Jesus
we can
Christ.
continue.
I wouldn't. First of all, I wouldn't take
please,
the Lord's
just-
name in vain on.
Well, you
Saturday.
have pretty much.
Whoa. This man just sat back like a petulant child and said, well, if I were you, I wouldn't take the Lord's name in vain. This is the same man that is okay with max people snatching people and disappearing people off the street and sending them to countries of origins that they don't belong to. But he thinks he can monopolize the way religion goes. See, if that's the type of religion that y'all have, I don't want it. Let's keep pushing this Epstein thing, guys, because this is extremely important. And there has to be a reason, allegedly, because you got to be safe, that the Trump administration doesn't want to put this information out there. So thank you for tuning in to My Brother's Ballot. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.